let us draw a prism, and by simple drawing a triangle, and this triangle represents a prism. Now here this is your angle of prism, which is suppose A, and we are to show that angle of prism is equals to R1 plus R2. What is R1, R2? R1 is your angle of refraction on this face, R2 is your angle of incidence on the other face, on this face. And then we will find the angle of deviation. At first, these two results we are going to obtain from here. For that, simple draw a triangle which represents a prism, and then PQ is angle of incidence, and when it enters through the prism, so it will be deviated like this way, and then finally when it will come from the prism to air medium, then again it will be refracted. Then actually PQ, this was the original path, and finally it emerges from the prism along this path, and if you plot it backward, it will meet here. That means from original path it turns through an angle this much. That is called angle of deviation, which represents by delta. Next, let us draw a perpendicular to this surface NQ, and it has been produced along this way. So as it is normal to the surface, this is angle of incidence. This is refracted through the prism material. Then this is your angle of refraction. Again, MR is the normal to the other face. Then this is your angle of incidence R2. Again, finally the ray emerges out along RS. So I2 is the angle of emergence. So this easily you can make it ready. After that, your aim is to show A is equals to R1 plus R2. That is, angle of prism is sum of these two angles. For that, in quadrilateral AQER, you have to consider this quadrilateral AQER. Here you see, this is perpendicular to this surface. Therefore, this angle is your 90 degree. Similarly, this is perpendicular to this surface and it has been produced like this way. Therefore, this angle is also 90 degree. That means sum of these two opposite angles is your 180 degree. What I mean, angle AQE plus angle ARE equal to 180 degree. So sum of four angles in a quadrilateral 360. Then in this quadrilateral, sum of these two opposite angle 180. Definitely then angle A plus angle E is what? Therefore, angle A, simply you can write A plus E. So A plus E equals to 180 degree, number 1. Now, you have to bring the terms R1 and R2. Then R1 and R2 how to come, or how to obtain R1 and R2? For that, R1 is present in this triangle and R2 is the angle of this triangle. That's why you consider this triangle in triangle QER. So in, you can say in triangle QER, what you will get then? R1 plus R2 angle sum property plus E, that is your 180 degree, number 2. Now do one thing, simply subtract 1 from 2. That means 2 minus 1 implies. So what you get? R1 plus R2 plus E. This is the left hand side of 2. Minus left hand side in 1 is what? A plus E equal to 180 minus 180. In the right hand side you will get 0. Then you see, you will get here, let me write here, R1 plus R2, and then here you see E and minus E cancel, So minus A is equals to 0, which gives you your angle A is equals to R1 plus R2. This is your result to be obtained. That means angle of prism, you can say angle of prism is the sum of which two angles? Angle of incidence when light ray enters from air medium to prism medium, and this is your angle of refraction, and R1 is the angle of refraction and R2 is the angle of incidence.